Yes. How's it, everyone? It's your Resin Black Spider-Man, Mpho Mdluli. I am back, making sure I'm recording. Yes, I am using my phone. This is, on a budget here, but it's all good. First of all, I just want to apologize for the lack of content that has been coming from my end and the art dealers. I think the last thing that we put out was in June. In this very set, myself and Jabu did a old school art dealers episode. So if you haven't listened to that, it is the previous episode to this. I think it was called Do I Belong to the Streets? We had a really cool conversation. And if you are new, watch some of the other stuff, Let's see what else is there. I'm rambling. So the whole point of this is, firstly, I wanted to do an update on how I'm doing, check up on you guys. And I started a cool community project, community initiative that I wanted to do with art dealers, where basically every month I collaborate with you guys. This is a very special project to me personally, and it's going to be a really, really cool thing where each month I'm going to ask a somewhat hard-hitting question, and then you guys and me and whoever wants to be involved answers the question, and we just get different perspectives from each other. And some of the answers I've gotten back so far have been honestly amazing, just to kind of see what you guys are thinking, as well as just catching your brain and just seeing what you guys think, and seeing how you interpret the question, and it's also helping me a lot. And some of the questions that I've lined up for the rest of the year and going forward are actually quite hard-hitting, and I'm really excited to hear what you guys have to say. But before I get into that, I wanted to do a quick update on me and art dealers and what's happening, and just ask you guys what's happening as well. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment down below. As well, if you're watching or listening on Apple or Spotify or Stitcher or wherever, welcome back. If you are new and you haven't given us a 5-star rating on Apple, please do so. It's good to be back. I've been okay, to be honest. I've been better. I really have been better. Things have, I think with everyone with COVID-19, and the year itself has been quite tough on me personally, emotionally. And I've just been trying my best to deal with the waves and taking more of a financial responsibility at home. I'm like the only one who has a steady monthly income in the family. So it's been tough to kind of, help the family survive a little bit. But, we're getting there. And things are picking up here in South Africa. We're on level 1 now, which basically means that things are opening up again steadily. And life pretty much feels like it's back to normal, at least for me and my particular lifestyle. I don't really go out to clubs and stuff, so that's really doesn't affect me. But for people who do, they are enjoying their lives, I'm happy for you guys. I really am. And other than that, just as far as art dealers is concerned, this is my baby. It always will be. We still have our group. We still chat on there. We still plan things, so there'll definitely be content. And I think 2021 will be an amazing year for art dealers. And to be honest, the rest of this year we'll definitely be rolling out cool content, doing cool collaborations as well. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. I think I suggested a few in the last episode, still listening to those same ones. The Debrief podcast, I've actually become quite good mates with Seppo, who runs it, an amazing podcast. As well as 99% Invisible. I did recommend that before. Incredible podcast on creativity. Really, really cool. I've just been learning, picking up new skills, been using a lot of After Effects on Premiere. After Effects, the Adobe program. Obviously, I edit all of this on Premiere, learning Premiere every single week and month for work, and also just privately. Work's been busy, which is a blessing in itself, so I can't really complain in that end. And the guys, I think, are cool, but next time we have a proper art dealers, we'll definitely do a proper updates and see how everyone is doing. So I don't want to speak too much on their behalf. But other than that, it's good to be back, and definitely hope to be rolling out content very, very soon. And so for this community initiative that I thought about, I've been listening to an incredible channel / podcast called Blonde Radio. I'll do an overlay now. And it's run by a guy named Brad. I actually found him on TikTok and realized that he had a podcast. And what he does is that he gets people to call in from various parts of the world, and he just has random conversations with them, finding out more about them and their story. And I just thought that was such a cool concept, because it's just really nice to hear cool conversations from interesting people. And every month he does this thing to kind of prompt who he chooses for the conversations, for the calls, he'll throw out a question, and then whoever obviously has a interesting comeback, he'll get them to call into the show. So I took that concept and remixed it a bit, but I don't want to take any creative credit for it. This is certainly from Blonde Radio, and I've just remixed it a little bit. So I thought, let me put out a question and get as many responses as possible in a certain time frame, and then put all of those in. So this podcast could end up being like an hour long, depending on how many of you guys send through responses and how long each response is. So the first question for this month and for this first project is, how do you express your identity? How do you express your identity? And I think what's cool about this question is that it's deep enough that you can take it in many different directions. You can go spiritual, you can just go quite personal as well, and really think introspectively of how you express yourself. And essentially what I wanted to get out of it is, how do you present yourself to the world? Like, how does Carla Mdluli present himself to the world? And to answer that question, I did have to think about it. And to answer it, it's pretty straightforward for me. I think I identify quite heavily as a creative. It's one of my main things. It's certainly something that took me a while to figure out, probably like 2 years out of high school. As much as I was creatively inclined in high school, it definitely wasn't something that I thought would be my full-time occupation or my hobby. And it's been an incredible journey for me to figure that out, and shout out to God for opening those doors. On top of that, I certainly identify as a Christian. That's a big part of my life as well. A black man, young black male, activist, all those things. But I think the way I present myself to the world, certainly through my social media, through the way I interact with people, is certainly more as a creative. And the way I do that is, one of the biggest parts is my fashion, my style. I get a lot of compliments from you guys to the way I dress. I do think I dress quite well, but I am quite intentional about what I wear. I'm very specific about what I wear, and it is a big part of my personality. And I think style in general is an extension of people's personality. And even people who don't necessarily care about what they wear, you always hear people like that. I do think that is a reflection of their personality, you know. So style is a big part of how I express myself, my personality. I'm not necessarily trend driven, but I will take a trend and sort of like adapt it to how I dress. I'll look at runways and be like, oh, that's a cool look. Let me figure out how I can adapt it with the clothes that I have. Really big into the high fashion brands and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely my style, and also just through my creative outlets. So art dealers is a big creative outlet for me. Get some of these ideas out and share them with you guys, as well as through my work in just graphic design, videography, photography. These are passions that have luckily become an occupation for me, and it's certainly allowed me to create a career out of I'm thankful that I've been able to create a career out of my hobbies. So yeah, definitely my creative outlets, making music, some of the trap songs we've made and all that kind of stuff, more on the way, by the way. So yeah, so that's me, but enough from me. I wanted to throw it out in the world, and it's incredible the responses that we've gotten. We've gotten guys from Kenya, Spain, the United States. I have a friend in Georgia. Hopefully she sent it in time. Guys in Germany. So yeah, I'm really excited for you guys to hear what everyone has got to say. Hopefully, if you hear yourself, give me a comment, share this with your friends, and let's share it to the masses next time. Let's get this as big as possible, because I'd love to hear what you guys say, and hopefully we can just keep this going. So yeah, I don't want to talk for too much. You'll hear me at the end closing this off, but you know who it is. It's your boy, Mpho Mdluli. Peace out.
My name is Arielle Miller, and I live in Johannesburg, Gauteng. I find my identity in art, as it is the only way that I can truly express myself. It is my favorite creative outlet because art is who I am. It is my identity.
Yo, what's up? My name is Abo Booi. I am a filmmaker and photographer based in Johannesburg and in Cape Town. And how I express my identity, that's a tricky answer, because my identity is based in many things. I have my identity, my spiritual identity, my identity as a black person, as a man, as as a son. But I think the way that I express all of these things and all of these ideas for me, and they come through in every aspect of my art. My identity as a black person informs how I frame and approach and characterize and develop characters of my skin color. In relation to how people of my skin color and my skin like darkness and shade have been represented in society. So I take a very active pro-black stance in my art and in my conceptualization, because that's what I believe is a big part of my identity. And I express my identity as an artist as well through my art. I think the art is my art, and filmmaking, photography is where I really express who I am, what I like, what I don't like, what I'm experimenting with, what I want to become, the kind of artist that I want to be, and the kind of artist that I am right now. And I express my identity in ways that are direct to me. I take pictures in ways and of things that I identify with and I think have a beautiful aesthetic to and have a beautiful tone to. So expression of identity for me, I am fortunate enough to have an outlet like art and have an outlet like movie making and storytelling that gives me the space to be able to express any part of my identity however I want, depending on how I write it. If I want to express my my masculinity in terms of the identity of being a Xhosa man versus what it is to actually be a man and all of these things, I'll write it and I'll conceptualize it. I'll make some kind of story around that, addressing that discourse that is a personal discourse in my identity, or something like being a black person in violent white spaces that are, inherently and because of apartheid, very anti-black. I write stories and I take pictures and I go to places that represent that, and maybe I'll take a picture of a black person flourishing in these white spaces and all of these things. So I think I'm blessed enough and fortunate enough to be somebody who God has given me a talent to be able to make stories and make art, and therefore gives me an outlet to express the identity that I have within me from all facets, whether it be my spirituality, my love for God, or my love for people, So yeah, that's how I express my identity. I express my identity through art, but through expressing discourses around my identity, not directly just my identity, just racial discourses, physical discourses, discourses of masculinity and hypermasculinity, even toxic masculinity, and all of these discourses are part of my identity as Abongwe. As Abongwe the artist, as Abongwe the black man, as Abongwe the man, as Abongwe the guy in Cape Town, And so that's how I've been placed in the fortunate position of being able to express my identity and the discourses of my identity. I know I rambled a bit here, there. You can cut it wherever you need to cut it. If you want me to email it, I think I could probably do that. I don't know how you do it from WhatsApp. I won't lie. Let me actually not lie. I don't know how you do that. But yeah, that's what the expression of my identity is. Yeah, and that's how I express it, and that's how I approach it. And also, I think it's interesting to add that just through the expression of identity, nobody really knows exactly who they are, and these ways of expressing your identity kind of helps you refine who you are and find out what kind of person you are and how different things affect you, and expressing that in an artistic way, I think it's just such a blessing, and I'm so thankful for that. And yeah, shout out to all my artists, shout out to all my non-artists. You can express your identity through balancing the numbers there and accounting. I'm kidding. Let me not be a dick. But yeah, that's me. Shout out, bro. Thanks for hitting me up. I hope I answered the question that you were asking for and I didn't ramble too much. But bless.
Hi, I'm Ariam. I'm from Venezuela, based in Spain, and the way I express my identity is through music. Music for me is my safe place, is where I let myself be vulnerable, where I feel free, and where I feel the most confident. Through songwriting and singing, I get to show people who I really am, but I also get to know myself better, because when I write, I feel like I'm my truest self. I'm not trying to hide anything, I'm just giving everyone a piece of me, and I think that's beautiful. Having that ability is beautiful. I wouldn't be me without music.
Hi, my name is Arielle and I'm from Joburg, and the way I express my identity is probably through music. So like the type of songs I write and listen to is definitely the way that I express my identity towards people.
Alright, so I definitely agree with the point you made about fashion and the clothes you choose to wear being an extension of your personality. But what stood out to me, and it might be a little bit left field, but I think that my friends and the people that I choose to spend my time around are reflective of my identity. So for example, I identify as a Christian, and a result of that is I hang around more Christian people and have more friends that are Christians.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Carla, je suis sud-africaine. J'ai étudié French. Actually, I'm not French, I'm South African, and I'm studying French. I'm in first year varsity. And the way that I express my identity is through drama, most probably, and art, and my creative outlets to that. Not to get more, I don't know if this is deep, but I also love to express my identity through serving the church, and I find, because my identity is found in my belief in Jesus, so I love to serve the church, serve kids in ministry, so all throughout that I'd say I love seeing drama and theatre as a way to express your ideas and beliefs, and a way to outlet all your emotions. I don't know, I'm rambling on, but I'm not going to speak that long. But yeah, that's how I express my identity, I think. Maybe I have other ways. Okay. Au revoir.
Hi, I'm Deborah. I'm from Joburg. And identity is still something I'm learning about myself, on top of, the fundamentals like my name, my faith, that kind of thing. But I'd say that I feel like I'm given the biggest chance to express my identity when I relate with people. So I really try to engage with all kinds of people as a way for me to sort of grow into my own skin and learn a lot more about myself through expressing my identity. On the other side of things, the more quiet side of things, I express my identity by learning to be comfortable with the things I write and think about. So I'm someone that really thinks a lot about a lot. But yeah, I'd say my words hold the most weight about me, whether it's in writing or thinking or conversation. That's, I guess, how I express my identity.
I'm Elena from Texas, United States. And I would say I express my identity through the relationships I make with other people, because every connection that I have, every friend that I have is very different from one another. And although that contributes to none of my friends really being friends with each other because they're so different, it allows me to have a venue to express every little part of my personality, because it is wide-ranging, and I think everybody's is. So by having different friends that are in those, niche groups, you can express that niche part of yourself. So that's how I would say I express myself.
Hi, I hope this finds everyone well. My name is Esther Wangu. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya, and I'm a huge fan of the Art Dealers podcast. How I express my identity is through self-acceptance, checking in on myself to constantly seek my opinion on issues. So I've found that sometimes it's easy for me to get lost in the opinions and beliefs and the tales of other people and their values. Whether it's in a conversation or I'm just consuming content, it's very easy to get swayed by their views. So I make a point of always, whether in that moment or later, always sitting down and evaluating what thoughts are coming up, what feelings, what emotions am I experiencing because of that. So positive emotions come up, negative emotions come up, and having accepted myself, it's easier to either see the beauty when they're positive or make change with these negative emotions. Like, make change is easier made that way. I also like poems because sometimes I'm stuck when I'm trying to express myself, and so things just flow, and I feel like poems are coded messages. My poems are coded messages from myself to myself, and I enjoy that a lot. So in a nutshell, although not in any concise form, that is how I express my identity. Thank you.
Hi there, my name's Isla Henry. I'm originally from South Africa, but I have been living in the UK for 2 years now. And the way I would express my identity is through the way God sees me, through the way of all the positive characteristics that I have. I feel like a person has to get their identity from the things that they love about themselves. So it could be a sense of humor, it could be anything, or it could just be kindness. Identity doesn't always have to be this like tangible thing. It could be spiritual, it could be whatever you want it to be. Identity is pretty much identified by each person in their own.
Hi everybody, my name is Jenna. I'm from Joburg. How do I express my identity? I would say I carry out my individuality in everything I do. That's from painting to drawing to the genre of music I sing to something I design. I believe your identity is truly expressed when you find a part of yourself that maybe you lost when you're influenced by people, and when you find that part of you that's no other person on this planet has, because no two people are the same. You can really find a unique way to express yourself, and I do that through being creative. Yeah.
Okay, so hi, my name is Jess Goble. I'm from Johannesburg, and what makes my identity is most probably the people I surround myself with, because I really like laughing and smiling, and I feel like the people around me really bring the best out of me. Definitely the people around me. It's just like I'm very grateful for those people, and definitely God as well, because I feel like a big part of our identity is from God as He created us. So like without His creation I wouldn't be who I am today. So definitely His praise, and He continues to show me new talents and new like parts of my identity like all the time. So definitely without Him I wouldn't be who I am today, and although I'm continually growing, my identity is growing as well, and it's like really exciting. And
Hi, my name is Kelsey Grace, and I would say I find my identity through who I am in Christ. And so when it comes to expressing that identity, what I do is just live every day as He would. So loving people, using my talents that I have wisely, because your identity changes depending on who you're with, in order to fit in with certain people or with certain groups. Your identity changes at home, your identity changes at school, and so I like to stay firm in my identity in Christ, because then it means that I'm not swayed easily by the world. So expressing my identity through prayer, through loving people, through going to church, praising, and just, spreading His light wherever I go. So I hope that helps.
Hi everyone, my name is Lara, and this is how I express my identity. So I'd say the first thing is definitely through music. I love music, I love listening to music, and I play the piano. Been playing for about 10 plus years. And I also love to sing and write songs. And yeah, just overall music is like the biggest thing in my life, apart from God. I also play in the church band and as well as the youth band, and I just love the way I can use my talents to worship God. And then I'd say the second one is definitely through journaling. It's definitely a way I use to track my journey in life and how I get through a lot of my struggles. And I work through emotions through my journal, and then I love to put stickers and washi tape and calligraphy and draw pictures all over it and really be a girly girl with it. But yeah, so those are my two ways of expressing my identity. Thank you, bye.
Hey, I am Lemo. I'm originally from Johannesburg, but I'm currently residing in Pretoria, and I have been for quite some time. I have a few ways of expressing my identity. The first of which I think is quite common to a lot of us, and that's through music. Music for me is, I guess, like a way of narrating how I'm feeling. I kind of think of it as guided introspection, you know. And I mean, I don't make my own music, but I do write my own poetry. And it's somewhat of a similar relationship that I have with that, in that I use it to express myself and release thoughts that I don't otherwise know how to put across. Because the greatest thing for me about poetry is that you don't need to make anyone else understand what it is that you're trying to put across. You know, I can say exactly how I'm feeling without actually saying it, but also use it as a way of documenting where I am in life and just using it to see how far I've come from wherever, if it was a place of like darkness to a happier place. And then friends, the company that I keep, it's, you know, common knowledge that the friends that you keep are a reflection of you. So I'm very selective about who I let into that space, because I'm also very careful about how I portray myself. And then the last one would definitely be fashion. Fashion for me, I think, makes me the happiest, because there's just so much that you can do with it. And I think this is just like because I'm good at it, I'd like to believe. I have had many phases in my fashion, you know, timeline, but it's somewhat always been consistent. It's a mix between like my girly side and my sporty side, and I think that shows through every single outfit that I wear, obviously excluding like formals and stuff. But if you just see me on an ordinary day, I think that expresses who I am. It's in the clothes that I buy, it's in the way that I style them, with the accessories and the specific attention or emphasis that I place on certain items. And another thing, I mean, like, I am a creative in some respects, and I refashion some clothes, so a lot of the time I do buy items, but not for its inverted commas intended purpose, but I use it with the aim of creating something that I think would best suit me. Because as much as, you know, I think that trends are fantastic, we need to remember that it's not suited for everyone, and that you need to alter stuff to fit who you are and what looks good on you. So yeah, that's me, and that's what makes Lemo.
Hello art dealers, it's Luale here. In terms of how I express my identity, I would say that one of the most significant ways is through my hair and how I style it. which I know sounds really superficial, but hear me out. As a black woman, my hair is so important to me, and I've gone on such a journey with it. But one thing that's always been the same is I usually have long braids, long box braids. So it's kind of become the staple Luale look, and I know that a lot of people identify me and see me and recognize me through seeing me with that hairstyle. And I love it, and I kind of can't picture myself having any other hair. Not to say that I wouldn't have other hair, because I know that at the end of the day, hair does not make the person, but it is, I guess, a huge part of my identity, and I love it.
To reply, but I don't know what you mean by identity per se. Like, do you mean like my sexual identity? Because in terms of like sexual identity, I say that I'm a sapiosexual, which means, I wouldn't say sexual identity, but like, yeah, okay, I guess it is sexual identity because it's sapiosexual. So sapiosexual is basically like someone who's attracted to intelligence, right? So you can be flipping like the most gorgeous man in the world, but if like we speak and then there's no substance in whatever you're saying, I like back then I would like lose interest very quickly. So that's what I realized in myself. So then I started calling myself a sapiosexual, but I also use it in a non-platonic way, in a sense that it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic linked. So what I mean is that if I have to meet someone, I also do that with friendships. For example, like if I have to meet like a new person that I really vibe with and I really want this person to be my friend, I always look at, do we have substantial do you speak with substance, is what I'm trying to say. Like, do we connect intelligently? Like, do we have a flow? Do we have some sort of common ground? Like, do you speak with substance, or do you just speak hot air, essentially? So I see that with a lot of my friends as well. Like, my friends and I could literally sit and just have like deep ass conversations, like just mind-blowing conversations, and that really that excites me. And so that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't say being a sapiosexual like it's like a sexual, like romantic thing, but it's more of like also platonic type of identity, should I say, because like I said, I look for intellects that I can flow with, you know what I mean, that I can learn from. Because remember, you in life, you need to challenge yourself to unlearn in order for you to learn. Do you get what I mean? So that's just my vibe. And then when if I had to take identity in terms of clothes, should I say, like fashion style, I actually learned this new thing. It's called I said comfortably. I express creative comfort is what I have to say, and I think your style is the same thing, like creative comfort, in a sense that whatever you see on me will probably be mind-blowing and be like, whoa, awesome, but know that as awesome as I look, I'm fucking comfortable. Like, I don't think I'd ever compromise my comfortability for anything. I think that's always been my number one rule when it came to my style, is that I always want to feel comfortable, because I know feeling comfortable, I'm going to feel good as hell, even though my outfit may be average, which most of the days it really isn't. But if it is, like, I'm still comfortable as shit. Like, or if it's just my outfit's out of this world, like, I'm comfortable as shit. Like, know that I'm very, very, very comfortable with what I'm wearing, and just enjoy, like, just walk around. I'm not feeling like oh, it's too tight, or I can't breathe, or someone's looking at me funny, or like when I wear these, like, I don't know, if I'm wearing this like hoodie or this jacket, people are looking at me weird. Nope, I put it on because I know it's creative as fuck, and at the same time I'm like, this jacket is warm. Like, you know what I mean? So that's where I get my comfort from, you know. I hope you understand what I'm saying, and it's going to be a lengthy ass voice note. Yeah, it is.
To answer your question, and I'm going to try and answer it the best way I think I can. Just let me know if you need a better answer, because I have a tendency to overthink these things. Anyway, so the way in which I express my personal identity, there's probably 3 main ways I would express it. So I'm just gonna let you know. So the first way is probably through like my cleanliness. Like I am extremely adamant on cleanliness and how I present myself, as well as like my personal belongings, like my house or my car or things like that. I do like it to be clean and things to be in place, because it just makes me feel very proud of that. And in the same sense, it makes me feel comfortable when people do come to visit, because I know that it's always nice to come into a clean environment. I really pride myself on that. The second one is 100% my food. I am someone that I get very bored with food, and I love interesting food, and I tend to try and make things that are interesting, and even taking things that are as simple as chicken and trying to make chicken strips in a different way. So definitely that expresses who I am to my creativity. And then the third way would also be what I wear. I have a tendency, especially a lot of times it shows in like when I do go out, I like to dress a specific way. It's not necessarily all the time the same, and sometimes I go completely out of my comfort zone. I think it's been a recent expression of my personal identity. I haven't always been that concerned with clothes, but as of in the last year, it's become quite a big thing, and I've been very fascinated with dressing in different ways and trying different styles that I've not necessarily done before. Yeah, I think that's basically it.
Hey guys, my name is Nicole, and the way I express my identity would most probably be through music. That plays a big role in my life. And another one would probably be my style and the way that I dress. And I also express my identity when I'm around people that I'm comfortable with, and where I feel I can express my personality freely without being judged. And yeah.
Hi, I'm Nomsa. I'm from Johannesburg, but I live in Lusaka, Zambia right now. How do I express my identity? I think for the most part I do express my identity through my fashion choices. What I wear, what I choose to wear on certain days. Yeah, because definitely, you know, what you wear reflects a lot of your personality. I also express my identity through my writing. I do, some writing, I guess. And music choices as well. Certain music choices, the people that I choose to listen to, the bands that I choose to listen to, and things like that. So I think those are 3 ways that I express my identity. Also just the people that I choose to have around me as well. I think the people that the circle, your close circle and things like that also says a lot about who you are as well, and what you allow into your life. So yeah, that's that on that.
Okay, so for starters, when I think about the word identity, I immediately think individuality and being able to live in your own skin. Personally, I would say I express my identity by trying my best not to conform to social activities and social standards, and being able to just feel fulfillment in the things that truly define me, like my love for music, because overall those are the things that make me stand out as an individual and make me unique. But I would say I try lead by example, and of course I understand that if someone doesn't like me for me, then that's their loss. So that's how I would say I express my individuality or identity, sorry.
Yo, I guess like it's such a difficult question because like I'm trying to figure out like what my identity even is before I start expressing it. But I guess I express my individuality through creative outlets like music and fashion. I know music is the most significant one because that's literally like I just write about what I'm going through and like about me. So that's how I express my identity creatively. But also like on a day-to-day, I express myself through how I dress. Like genuinely, like how I dress usually is usually as a result of how I'm feeling. Yeah, so like if I'm feeling like I want to go like destroy a test, I'm gonna dress up and look mint in an exam room. I don't know, it's weird, but I do that. But also if I'm feeling super casual, like you'll catch me in like sweatpants or track pants and a tee, just like straight chilling with dirty Air Force Ones because it's a casual day for me. So that's how I express myself on a day-to-day. The most significant would be my creative outlets. That's pretty much the only thing I can think of. So yeah, music and fashion.
Hi, my name's Shayna. I'm from Joburg. And the way I would say I express my identity is through my emotions. Like through the way I care about people, the things I do for people, just the way I express my emotions. That's the way I think I express my identity. Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Steph. I'm from Mozambique. I express my identity through music, whether it's just listening or singing along. I feel like you can connect in a certain way emotionally, so that's how I express my identity. The second thing is dancing. I've been a dancer my whole life, and I feel like my identity is expressed through that, the movement, just the freedom of being able to kind of do your own thing with the music. And I feel like dancers have a lot going on. It's the commitment, it's the sacrifice, the strength that we need to carry on, because sometimes we dance through the pain. I think that they are great artists and actors at the same time. And thirdly, it's my studies. I'm currently doing medicine, dentistry, so I get to be very creative in that sense. So that's how I express my identity. I also get to show a little bit of my character, because you need to know how to treat people and just the kindness and all of that. So those are the three main things that express my identity.
Hey yo, it's Shabba Ranks, bang in the east, bang in the west. Hi people, my name is Thabang Madonsela. I am a creative. I'd like to think so, but I'm not a creative. A lot of people think that I'm a creative. I tell them I'm not a creative, I'm a problem solver, because of like what's been happening throughout my ages and whatever, me growing up and stuff like that. I've always had to solve a lot of problems, and that's where I discovered my identity and who I am and what I like, how I express myself as a person. When I go through a lot of ish, I just want to sit down and be creative and do some stupid stuff that's abnormal. And how do I express this to people, to the world? How do I present myself to the world? A lot of people think that I'm a weirdo or what. I don't know what they call it, but then I'm not. I feel like I'm just chilling, easy chilling. It shows through my fashion sense, I think, but I haven't been able to do that now for long because of what's happening, COVID, and just because of the area I've been for the past couple of years. I wasn't able to like express who I am, of being like low key, wanting to tapping into my identity here and there. But I feel I come alive mostly when I'm like in the streets. That's when I can wear ripped jeans, 5 chains, piercings. I can dye my hair 3 different colors in one day, and feel like when I look at the mirror and I'm like, yo, Shabba Ranks, inside, outside. Like, that's how I express my identity, and people know me for that. A lot of people who know me, they know me for standing out in crowds, being free to do whatever I want to do. Whenever I come through, they know, snap, in a crowd of like 1,000 people, nobody looks like me. You can identify me like that. You can just be like, yo, that's Shabba Weezy, Shabba Ranks there. When I pull through, that's just how it is. But for the circumstances and where I've been, because I like attention. I think I like attention, and attention likes me. Like, I get to a place and I shine. Everybody looks at me. Everybody wants to hang with me. Everybody just wants to be with Shabba Weezy for the babies, baby. But I'm so shy for days because, like, I pull off this look that's amazing whenever I want to go to express how I feel and express myself. But when I get there and everybody's looking at me, it's like, what the? Who that guy? That guy, I want to hang with him. Now everybody wants to come and hang with me and make friends and greet me and take pictures. But now, like, then when it gets to that moment, I just keep quiet. I'm like, yo, aware, you can take the picture, but easy chilling, bro. Like, those type of things. And that's how I think I express my identity. Like, I'm known for that. I'm known for how I speak. I speak like I don't know how I speak, but a lot of people, I don't make sense most of the time. And people just laugh and have fun whenever I'm around. I do me and me only, baby. Well, yeah, I've been wanting to do me and me only. It hasn't been like that for long. But I'm slowly going back there. Because I was like, man, I need to express this thing because it's building up. I haven't been me, haven't been free. Like, I have, my closet is full of like, it's full of dead bodies, boy, because I'm a fashion killer in it. Like, it's full of skeletons and shit. I'm a fashion killer, this boy. But now, the people that have known me for the past 2 years that I spend most of my time with, they haven't seen that side of me, and they've seen me wear the same thing over and over because that's the only thing that I have, and I'm not willing to buy other things that look normal, like the standard procedure. Yeah, I'm not willing to buy all this, so I'm gonna wear these things that I'm wearing over and over again until death do us part. But from time to time, I do tap into that creative style where I just express who I am, man. I don't even know if I'm making sense. I spoke for long, but yeah, let's go, let's get it. That's how I express my identity, bro. Like, I'm the ish. Shabba Weezy, Shabba Ranks, bang the West.
So how I would say I express my identity, I think first and foremost, in order to express your identity and in order to say, you know how to express your identity, you'd have to know where it lies and what it is. And I think with me being a born-again Christian and that being one of the most important, if not the most important things about me and my identity, I think that doing certain things and kind of not agreeing with other things that don't align with what I believe in and all of that, is a way that I express my identity and who I am, especially in being a Christian. I'd also like to think that, I'm a feminist and an activist and all of that. So expressing that part of my identity, would include like not keeping quiet and not being afraid of what people might say when, speaking out against things that are wrong, but that have become normal in society. And yeah, just those type of things, staying true to myself. I mean, it's a very simple answer, but I think that it's so much easier said than done to, kind of not get persuaded or let your identity get persuaded by things that are happening in society today and things that are happening in the world today and things that are being normalized, on a day-to-day basis, and to kind of go against that to stay true to your identity. So, always just keeping myself in check, asking myself why I'm doing something or why, I feel the need to impress whoever, is that part of who I am? Is that part of what I stand for? Is a part of my identity. So, yeah, just stuff like that. And yeah.
Hey Karabo, this is Tina. Wow, what a question. I don't know if I can answer it in a quick couple of minutes without going into a lecture, but here goes. I've come to, the realization in my little 30 years of life, my own little experience, that we possibly take our whole lives to discover what our identity is. I think God gives us, or God knows exactly who we are and who we're meant to be before we're even born. And sometimes it takes us discovering what identity is not to land on what identity is. I don't think it's a simple thing. I think it's a lifelong pursuit, and it's a fight. And when I speak about what identity is not, I'll tell you about my experience. I've realized that my identity is not my gift. I love that God gave me the gift to sing and to write, but I could so easily lose that. And then what would my identity be? My identity is not found in my job or the position I hold in life or my social standing, because that is so easily changeable. I think I've come to see that our identity is kind of fixed on the infinite and the eternal, and heaven, not on anything changeable and kind of finite. God is so wonderful in how He made us. We're so complex, and I think it takes a lot of intentionality and work to land on believing who God says we are, and that's found in the Bible. And with actually uncovering what God says I am, who He says I am, which is the most important. It's the most important affirmation ever, in discovering that I'm free to love freely. I'm free to love my enemies. I'm free to give without expecting any return. I'm free to preach the gospel because that's what he said I should do. I'm free to not fix my eyes on things that don't matter, on things that can change, that can be removed. I'm free to love freely, and this is me at 30 saying this. I have so much more to discover and learn. But I think what I really want to, from my point of view, I've discovered what identity is by searching the scripture and reading what God says I am and believing it truly and wholeheartedly, because it's just the most important thing, what He says. He's the one that matters. And also by discovering what identity is not. And that can be painful because we put our identity in so many things, in relationships, that unfortunately sometimes end up failing. And we're hurt. But then that kind of draws us back into, knowing that we're loved, that we're redeemed, and that that there's a gracious God who died for us, who loves us more than any love that we could receive from anyone. That love, again, I said, I'm repeating myself, but that love again frees me to love freely, to love anyone freely. So that's my 2 cents. What a great question. I can't wait to hear what the other contributors have to say too. Ciao.
Firstly, I want to say thank you to everyone who participated in this brand new format for the art dealers. It really means a lot to me. This was a really special project for me, and I'm super excited to keep it going. So hopefully more of you can get involved going forward. I'll make sure to advertise a bit more. So thank you so much. Everyone who was involved is linked down below if you're watching on YouTube. All the handles are in the description, and if you are listening on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you find podcasts, they are in the podcast notes as well as any other descriptions, links to the background mix, to the background looping video that I found, and anything like that. Give credit where credit is due. Again, thank you so much to everyone who's involved. Thank you to you listening. This was an incredibly cathartic project for me, and like I said, I'm excited to keep it going. So thanks again to everyone involved and to everyone who listened. You guys are awesome. It's your Resident Black Spider-Man, Mpho Mdluli. See you next time.